Hey everyone, Nathan Dawson with Dawson's Path. Today we're going to dive into nutrition just a little bit deeper than we did in the 101 level. Getting into 102 level, high school, college level understanding of nutrition for everyone every day. Not going to dive too deep into things, but I like to try to cover most of the general stuff. Let's get started. How you're going to feel with proper nutrition, I'll bet you, is something you've never felt in your entire life. You think back to when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, you felt great when you were 15, 16, 17, probably like a lot of us, because you're invincible when you're at that age. Your body's growing, even if it doesn't have the right nutrition, your body's gonna generally overcome that and you're gonna feel great, you're gonna feel strong. Imagine if you were eating ideally then, if you were eating perfect nutrition then. I say imagine, a lot of you maybe you did, but the people I grew up around did not. I did not. Most people didn't eat right. We don't eat right today. So many people don't eat right today. Most people aren't eating right. You see these fads, and there's a lot of these, at least the folks that I'm around and that I watch, they're talking a lot about nutrition and all these things, and that's great. And it seems like there's a channel everywhere you turn, or a blog everywhere you turn, where someone's talking about those things. And now I surround myself with that, but in reality, that's a very small percentage of the people in this country, in the USA, but also around the world. And we really, as a species, we really need to ramp up our nutrition, if not define it, period, and at least do a halfway decent job of it, because our nutrition is terrible. Couple of things about nutrition, other than the fact that it is the core, the foundation of a lot of what we're going to talk about on this journey forever. But it starts with nutrition, what you're putting in your body, what is coming in here, what you're eating, macronutrients, micronutrients, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats we've talked about, and the micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, and all of that list of things. Super, super important for what's happening in here. Again, it is the core. It is the foundation of all the things that you're going to do, all of the ways that you're going to feel, and all the activity you're going to be able to do or not do. Everything you're going to think, it all depends on what you're feeding yourself and how you're feeding yourself.
All right, welcome to the screen share. So we've got, starting with nutrition, we've got our macronutrients that we talked a lot about, macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fat. We're going to go into the details here. We're going to share a little more scientific information about them. And we're going to look at some fun pictures of these things that we want to eat. And so let's get started. So we'll start with macronutrients. We've got our protein, meats, eggs, legumes, soy, tofu, yogurt, dairy, pictures of all these things, right? These are the best things, right? The little Superman symbol right here means either I or someone else classify this as a superfood, mainly because it is packed with nutrients, and it is among the best foods on the planet in that area with those macros and micros. A lot of times the superfoods focuses on the micronutrients. So when you see the Superman symbol, that's awesome. Everything on this page are among many folks believed to be the best foods possible in these categories. Also foods, most of which, I'll call out the ones I don't necessarily eat as much of, or the ones I do eat a lot of. And these aren't all the foods in the world, right? This is just some selection of some of the best ones. By all means, pick out the foods, do the research for the things that you want to eat and the things that you like eating. But proteins here, chicken, eggs, beef, salmon or tuna, different fishes, sardines. There's lots of different kinds that are good. Salmon specifically, super food. Legumes, your beans, seeds, yogurt, and kefir, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Tofu, tempeh, we'll talk more about that later as well, for the vegetarians and whatnot. As any of you who follow me, you know that I don't eat chicken or beef right now, actually, and I don't eat a lot of tofu, but I'm not a big fan. But I am a pescatarian at the moment, or I am doing pescatarian things right now, just because I think it makes me feel better. I'm trying to explore some diet elimination things. Just happens to be that point in my life right now. But normally I eat these things here. And beef, I'm very selective with beef. Again, doing your own research, you'll see red meats are often something that you want to keep limited, just because of all the different ties to cancer, things like that. If you love animals, you're probably not eating it at all anyway, or chicken or turkey or anything for that matter. But just watch the red meat if you're just the average Joe or average Jane doing this. Something you probably want to keep. Of all the things in this picture here, beef and tofu are probably the things I would balance a little more. And again, for me, chicken, taking that out right now. Sorry, so we'll move on to the carbs. Protein's the builder. Again here, 20 to 40% of your daily is going to be in the protein, and protein's 4 calories per gram for when we get into calculations and start talking about that, or you're trying to balance out what you're eating every day. Protein's 4, carbs are 4, fat's 9. All right, carbs. Your vegetables, fruits, berries, grains, etc. More than is pictured here, of course. Lots and lots of stuff for carbs. Lots of things are carbs. So we'll just go look at those real quick. Again, the ones here are the ones that I eat a lot of. Buckwheat's new to me. I'm starting to get into that. So I can't speak from experience too much on that, but I'm like seeing that on lists left and right. So I want to give it a shot and start incorporating that into my diet, rotate that in and have some variety there. But quinoa, quinoa, however you want to call it, don't really care. Just start eating it. It's really super good for you. Try not to pay a lot for it. It tends to be expensive, but you can find it. You can find it cheaper. It is a little more pricey than brown rice, to be honest, but it's a superfood, and I forgot to put the Superman over there, but definitely quinoa is good stuff. Oats every day, definitely every day on the oats. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, just pretty much every day, 3-4 times a week at the least. Bananas always in my smoothies. Love bananas. In fact, that's the only way I eat bananas is by putting them in smoothies. That you don't have to do that. I just got into the habit, and that's just been my habit. Sweet potatoes, because of the micros, right? Sweet potatoes is a little bit better than potatoes as far as the nutrition goes, mainly because of the micros, the micronutrients. But you'll just see that very common. People talk about sweet potato being the better of the two. I personally enjoy them more as well. Buckwheat, like I talked about, brown rice, and you got your greens. Some of you may love these. You love them or you hate them, but you can get them into smoothies if you don't really like eating them. You can eat them with salads with some dressing. They taste better that way. Honestly, I don't really mind the way any of these here taste, especially cabbage when it's kimchi, or chard, bok choy, or chard, spinach, and kale in a salad with some lettuce. Lettuce is a waste of time. Just get something better for you in there, like these guys right here, or even romaine lettuce. But lettuce is basically water. Bok choy, a lot of times I steam that one and I put it with like my dinner meals or larger meals. You can do that with any of these really, but for me, bok choy just tends to be the one I do that with. Kale, you probably all. Kale has really gotten popular the last 2 decades, more so than it ever was before. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. I'll do some research on that, maybe post a little pop-up in the video here. But kale has just really taken a leap these past several years. I didn't even know what kale was when I was a teenager, and it's just been, you see people with t-shirts that say kale on it now, which is, I think, is kind of funny. I kind of want one of those t-shirts, to be honest with you. Kale, just silly, but whatever. Blueberries, lots of berries, really any berry here. I put blueberries because that's my favorite superfood. I have blueberries probably 2 to 3 times a week or so. You can eat them, different kinds. Try to rotate in the different berries, raspberries, blackberries, whatever it is that you like against strawberries. Rotate them in. You don't want to eat the same foods every day. Variety is really important.
Vegetables. Eat them raw, steam them, don't boil them. If you're anything like I grew up, mom just threw everything into the pot, boiled it up, and threw it on a plate. No one wants to eat vegetables like that, and it's understandable, right? That's not the way you plus the nutrients aren't really going to be there. So yeah, steam them, eat them raw. That's how you want to do your vegetables. You can really make vegetables taste great. If you're afraid of that, or you're someone that doesn't eat a lot of vegetables, you've got to get the dark green leaves into your diet. And don't just do a supplement. Don't just get greens in a little cup that you pour into your water and you drink. You can do that, but don't just do that.
All right, carbs, 30 to 60%. 60% on your active days, is fine. Somewhere in the upper end, on the lower end, on your less active days. And again, we talked about carb cycling a little bit. Look into that. That's really important, especially if you're active or lifting weights. Look into carb cycling. Do your homework on that. Get good at knowing how that works, and you'll find a lot of information on the carbs, the carb cycling. Fats. No, fats are not bad for you. They are super good for you, especially if they're these fats right here, right? You don't want to eat crappy fats, just like you don't want to eat crappy carbs and crappy protein. You don't want to eat crappy foods. Get the superfoods in your diet. Get all the healthy foods, the whole foods. That's what you want to be eating. But here we've got, I'll go backwards this time, coconut. I don't eat a ton of coconut. It's also expensive. At least I think it's expensive. But there is coconut in some of the granolas that I eat, and I try to get that in the products that I buy. I don't buy whole coconuts or anything like that. Not you can. I just don't. Extra virgin olive oil is daily for me. That's my go-to oil. I don't really even think I eat any other kind of oil or put that in my when I'm cooking with oil. It's always EVOO. Dark chocolate, again, I don't eat a ton of dark chocolate, just like coconut. It's in some of the granolas and whatnot that I have. Lots of people swear by it. That's why I put it in here. I have some of it, no big deal for me, but it is super, super good for you, and I wanted to put it in here for those of you who might really like dark chocolate. A lot of people are big fans of that, so there you go. I guess that was for others more than myself. Flax, personally, every day for me. Flax seed, flax meal, I grind them up. Chia, probably heard a lot about that one lately too. Really, really awesome. Almonds every day. Avocados as much as I can afford to get them. Not that avocados are super expensive. They kind of are, but it's also hard to keep them ripe and hard to find them, good. So I could probably eat more avocado myself, but you can't get enough of these. They're really, really tasty as well. For those of you who like guacamole, avocados are awesome. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about probiotics. So we've got the probiotics here, again, something that's really taken off the past two decades or so, just gotten super, super popular. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I was an idiot for the first 20 years of my life and people talked about probiotics all the time and I didn't know, but kefir I have quite often. Kimchi, again, I make that myself at home, and I probably have that. If I have it and I have made it, which I make it every few months, and I keep it for a few months, I'm eating a little bit of that every day, if not every other day at the worst. Tempeh's new to me. I haven't eaten this a lot yet. This is just kind of an alternative to tofu. I kind of feel stupid. I forget what it is. It's a bean or a seed. I don't know. I'll put that in the video as well. I forget what it's made of. But anyway, I'm trying to get that into my diet. I haven't found any yet, not at the local store here. The local Kroger didn't have it, so I'm going to try it at the bigger Kroger down the way. But tempeh I'm hearing a lot about. I want to try to incorporate that into my diet, again, because I'm going pescatarian right now and trying to get chicken. Not trying to. I am. Turkey and chicken are out for me. I'm just focusing on really what's in this picture and on this slide here is eggs and fish, and then all the other stuff. I'm good, but no other meats for me, just because I'm playing with the elimination diet myself and trying to get my gut health and digestion as tuned as I can get it. But the probiotics and prebiotics and probiotics, do your research on those. There's supplements that you can do too, but again, I'm focusing on whole foods for nutrition. I want you guys to think about whole foods, not so much the supplements. Supplements are good. You can do supplements all you want, but don't replace the whole foods as much as possible. Try to get whole foods be 80-90% of your daily intake. Again, probiotics being big for a pill lately. Lots of people taking the pills and whatnot. It's fine if you want to do that, but get the foods too. All right, lastly, micronutrients. So macronutrients is the energy, the builder in protein. Micronutrients is your vitamins and your minerals, right? Vitamins being water soluble or fat soluble, and then those are coming from animals, us, animal sources, and your minerals come from the earth to the animals, which we eat, and you can get them, straight from the plants or whatever it is. But minerals from the earth, vitamins from the living beings, and those are your micronutrients. Those are responsible for the processes that are in your body, your digestion. Micronutrients are responsible for your immunity, your maintenance, just your heart pumping the blood, just all the processes. It makes sense, right? They do all that work, all of that you need. The list of calcium, phosphorus, potassium, iron, manganese, and so on and so forth. All those things that you need for the potassium ion channels, all of the processes that are in the body, thousands, millions of them, I guess. That's what you're getting those from a lot of these foods here. And again, superfoods are typically defined by the large amount of micronutrients that are in them. So you can't just think fats, proteins, and carbs, and I'm good to go. No, it's your vitamins and your minerals, and the content of those in the foods that you have. And again, supplements here, you can take a vitamin, great, I do, but don't just do that. Make sure you're getting the foods too. The combo of the two will make a world of difference in your life, and I guarantee you will change your life. Will absolutely change your life if you are getting whole foods and you start to give this some time to sink into your body. Weeks, months, you'll look back and see, wow, I feel better than I've ever felt in my whole life if you get this right, I promise you.
Once you get the macros down and kind of your percentages that you're eating every day, and again, you want to cycle those. You're not always going to have super high protein every day, although you can't get enough protein. You always should have, I would say, at least 35% minimum protein every day. But again, that's me in the gym a lot. Maybe you get down to 25, 30%, I'd say still that's probably your low end. It doesn't have to be 2 grams per pound of body weight either. I'd say somewhere between 0.75 and 1 is probably good. That's generally where people are. So for me, it's somewhere around 140 to 180 grams of protein a day on my good days. Carbs, I would cycle those. You're not going to eat a whole lot of carbs on some days when you're not real active. That's probably just going to turn into fat faster. Just cycle your carbs. We're not going to focus on that in this video, but you look into the carb cycling and how that works. It's fairly complex. It can be simple, but you're going to want to do some research and read about that. So I definitely encourage the carb cycling is important, particularly if you're trying to do something specific with your body. Into resistance training or any kind of weight training, look a lot more into carb cycling. And then the fats, the healthy fats, never eat garbage fats, never eat garbage, period. Again, it's whole foods is what you should be focusing on. But for the fats, a lot of people, stay away from fat. No way. Just the fats that we talk about today here, the fats that we covered, the fats that you can go check on the blog, those are the ones you want to get those in your daily diet, cycle them through just like anything else. Don't eat almonds every day. Get some variety in there. Variety can't be stressed enough. But watch the percentages again on those. I put the percentage in the video here, somewhere between 40 and 60% carbs, somewhere between maybe 20, 30, 40% fats, again, depending on the day. And then protein can vary a bit. I wouldn't go too far below 30, maybe 35 to 45%. Something in there, of course, you're going to exchange those all out to be 100%, depending on the day, of course. But again, focus on those ranges. Again, we'll cover it here in the video, and you'll see those when we're going through. Nutrition is the healing, the core of everything. Again, I can't stress that enough. Even in my life, which is really what it boils down to, is this journey, just my own experience, nutrition's been all the difference in the world. Even if it's not going to cure all the diseases and be as wonderful and glorious as some people might overdo it, and maybe they're not, maybe they're 100% right, there's no way that doing nutrition the right way isn't going to be life-changing at its very base for you. Strongly encourage you to get a hold of this before you go any further in your life's journey, whether it be your mental approach to every day, or how you want to succeed in life or business, or make more money, or get fit, or do any of these things that you might have, your dreams, your goals. Nutrition's the core, I swear, and it is my foundation, and it's been all the difference in my life. I want to thank you guys for joining me today for Nutrition 102. Next time is going to be exercise. So today was just nutrition. Next time's just exercise. And I think I'll finish out the series there with that. So with three videos, we had the first video with just the introduction. Today we got dangerous with nutrition. Next time we're going to get a little more dangerous with exercise, movement, weight training, activity in general. All right, I hope you guys have a great day. Really take care.